Hey YouTubers, it is Pastor Pipe Smoker at the smoking studio. Tonight I am smoking this evening blend, autumn evening. I should get that thing where the camera turns around the other way to show you actually the right spelling, because even Johnny Cash doesn't look like Johnny Cash here, American Rebel. This is a really good tobacco. Room note is really pleasant. Probably not as pleasant as the one I had yesterday. That was really good. This one's pretty good. This one's pretty good. Now this one, the tin note is a lot more pleasant. It smells really good. It does. So it is. It is an aromatic. It does smell pleasant. The taste is like it's got like a fruitiness. To me it tastes mild, but it might just be me. But it is good. This is a really good pipe, really good smoke. I'm doing it through my Norman Rockwell again. I let that dry out. Cleaned it and let it dry out. I was going to mention, I have this pipe too. This one I got at a smoke shop, and it's made in Italy. And I'm not sure what the wood is. It might be briar, but I'll tell you, if you smoke this one, you should probably plan on spending about an hour in the room, because this is a really, look how deep this bowl is. This is my finger. That's how deep the bowl is. Pretty deep bowl. So pretty long smoke. The Norman Rockwell will nearly be this long. Once again, this tobacco is a little bit moist. I didn't dry it out. Should have. Now I'm paying the penalty of having to light it a lot. Gotta watch the tongue bite. Very good pipe. Once again, it is autumn evening. For those of you who smoke aromatics, you know that this is a real popular one. I like to smoke this one at night mostly, because it just kind of has this calming, mellow kind of thing happening with it. Hard to explain. Probably the room note. If you're smoking in a room, if you're smoking outside, then I probably wouldn't suggest this one. This one is more for an indoor. So you can catch the aroma better. Well, I wanted to talk to you today. Read this really crazy article. You can look this up. I'm really into archaeology. I wanted to be an archaeologist before I was anything else, and I don't know what went wrong in my life. I ended up becoming a music producer. Currently, I work in technology on my own studio. This is part of the studio here that I'm building, and I do a lot with technology. What I wanted to say, this is really good, is that I loved archaeology. I wanted to study it. I wanted to become an archaeologist. I watched the Indiana Jones movies growing up. For those of us who watched Indiana Jones, I think all of us wanted to be archaeologists. Tampering this a little bit, poking it a little bit. I wanted to be an archaeologist. I never became one, but I ended up studying quite a bit. National Geographic. Can't watch all of it. Some of their stuff is just money maker, but it never used to be. Way back in the day, they were pretty legit. Nowadays, they're kind of been lumped in with everybody else, but they still have some good stuff on there. Anyway, I was reading this article, and it was on the BBC, but this is all over the place if you look this up. And so if you look in the biblical text, there was a temple in Jerusalem which sat on the mount now where the Muslim temple is. And that can't be excavated because of Muslim law. But there was in Jerusalem at the time, there's Jerusalem and Judea, and in those towns they built a replica temple that was a miniature version of the one that was in Jerusalem. Now, what I found was interesting. This was interesting. Me and Johnny Cash, by the way, are having a smoke tonight. Listen, we're gentlemen, but we're also rebels. Because not a lot of people smoke anymore. You know, it's not the trendy thing any longer. We'd rather drink our Fiji water. Nothing wrong with that. I love Fiji water too. I'm just saying, relaxation has gone away. So in this article, they found the altar where they used to burn incense to the Lord, to God. And on one side of the altar they found, which would be expected in a temple, they found frankincense. So, and we know that's mentioned in the Bible, frankincense and myrrh, and the story of Jesus and all this stuff. But frankincense had been around for a long time. So that was, they found the burn residue, they did the tests, found out that that was frankincense, and then they did the other one, which was the other residue, and weirdly enough, they found that that was cannabis. So they were on the altar giving God frankincense and cannabis together, and I'm not quite sure like how that ended up coming about, but I'll bet you they had some pretty wild worship times. No wonder they had to, come in and give an offering of a beef, because when they got done in the, on the altar side, they were ready to eat or munch or whatever. Maybe they had the munchies for manna. Who knows? But the crazy part is the Israelites literally would burn cannabis up to God. I thought that was really interesting. The reason why I thought that was interesting is because, as most of you know, a lot of times we talk about, how tobacco is wrong and how tobacco is bad, and how, this is, wrong to smoke and all this other stuff. And then, cannabis came out, and in this country it was made illegal. And then, you had the prohibition period where alcohol was illegal, and So cannabis was this illegal drug, and now all of a sudden, cannabis is coming back in popularity better than ever. I never thought I'd see it in my day, honestly, and now it's back better than ever, and people are now smoking cannabis. And in New York, where I live, it's actually legal to smoke cannabis. It's literally a legal thing. Like you can smoke cannabis, and I think that was interesting as well. That you can smoke cannabis in New York. You can give somebody cannabis as well. In other words, I can give a gift of cannabis to somebody, and then I can smoke it. It has to be so many ounces and everything. And I know like Colorado has laws like that, and so does California. But New York now has legalized marijuana. So in my town, this is delightful. Oh yeah. Wow, that's delightful. In my town, where there's a lot of drug addicts, all of a sudden overnight, tons of sticker shops everywhere. Well, what sticker shops are here is because there's a loophole in New York's law. If somebody comes in and buys a sticker, they can trade it and they give you marijuana. So you buy a sticker for like $20 and you get marijuana, or $50 or $100 or $200 and you get marijuana because there's a loophole in the law. It's crazy because they haven't figured out how to do the dispensaries the right way yet. So, at any rate, going back to that, the Israelites had cannabis. And that to me is just really crazy on a lot of levels, because in the churches, I don't smoke cannabis, by the way. I'm not a pot smoker. I want to make that very clear. I have never. I tried it once when I was like 12. Got a little bit high. Never tried it again after that. Hated it. Hated the feeling. Hated the whole thing. Doesn't slow you down. Makes you want to eat a lot. That kind of stuff. So I thought that was interesting. Cannabis in the Bible times, found on an altar. Listen, archaeology will always come up with some great stuff and some cool stuff. I love watching like Josh Gates on Expedition Unknown. Fantastic show. Fantastic. Love that show. Expedition Unknown. I also like the one where they're digging, wow. Man, my mind has slipped me. But the one where they dig for the gold on the pirate island there. What is it? Something in the cursed island. I watch that one a lot. Someday maybe they'll find gold, but they found some cool stuff on there. If you watch that show, they found some really cool things. I was watching one the other day with Josh Gates where they actually found all these new tombs and different things, and it looks like they may have found actually one of the pharaohs, and it's really interesting because pharaohs are not. Having a heck of a time. This is really wet. Pharaohs are hard to find because they raided the tombs. A lot of times they took the pharaoh stuff out of there and their bones. Never found them again. So they found this one tomb that was kind of left intact and bones in there. And what I didn't know is that the Egyptians, once they did that, would kind of reclaim the tomb if they wanted to feel like that they were a pharaoh or something. They would rebury their own in those tombs, and they would do it with the royalty of them as well. And then what they found out is that the royalty tried to design their tombs after the pharaohs, but what they actually found out was that the pharaohs actually were designing their tombs after the people who were in power of the day. And it was actually kind of the downfall of the Egyptian empire. Too many people got in power and didn't respect the authority of the pharaoh, and so the Egyptian empires collapsed. Interesting history, if you like that stuff. Other than that, that was the most interesting thing I read today. So I'm just sitting here in my man cave, enjoying this pipe, relaxing after a very long day of work. My wife has begun to child daycare, watch children in our home. We have a toddler that's 17 months old, and she's daycaring for 3 pretty newborns. They're like 3 months, 6-month-ish age range. So when I got up this morning, I come out and baby 1 was swinging and asleep. Baby 2 was crying like crazy. Baby 3 was crying like crazy. And my son, thinking he needed to get the attention, was running around whining and crying as well. It was like a circus. It was fun circus. It was fun. It was a fun circus. Hope you're enjoying a pipe as well while we're smoking here and just letting the day go by and relax. I'm naturally a very high-strung person. I have a type A personality. I'm just off the charts half the time. The stuff that I do requires really fast deadlines, a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, production work and live productions, sound, media, lights. The studio that I have I just put a lot of money into this place. I've been offline on my studio for about a year. While I've been building this, I wanted to make sure that kind of the last studio I ever built, which is our dream home, would be the place where we could, where I always dreamt of having. I have nice studios before. This is hands down the best recording studio I've ever built. But what I'm saying is, life is so busy. If you have kids, if you have spouses, we also have a young gal that we brought into our home that we view as a daughter. And she is now going on 20. 17, when she came in to live with us, was in really bad shape, anorexia, a lot of really bad issues, and now she's doing fantastic. She works for Wegmans, which is a great company. She's been a hotel manager, really has sprung back. She was in dire straits when she came in here with anorexia, not knowing if she was going to live or die. But that's why we're here on this planet. We need to take care of each other. We need to be good to each other. We need to be kinder. We need to be, as men, lead our homes. We need to be involved in our kids' lives. We're natural leaders a lot of times, we have to be good dads. I don't know about your dad, but I know that my dad was an abuser. He abused us kids. He abused my mom physically, emotionally, verbally. Sometimes when I'm smoking a pipe and thinking as I'm doing it, I think about those times. It lets me process. You know, my dad had a bad dad. My dad raised us the way he thought you should raise, and it wasn't the way to do it. So you know what? We have a chance. We, as men, have a chance to break the chain, break the cycle. And if we do that, we can be great husbands to our family, to our wives, significant others. We can be great dads to our children. We don't have to be the way we were raised. We can break that. Show them the right way. Not spoiling them, by the way, not entitling them. There's still discipline and love. But be men, just be men. I want to address my hats. Yesterday I was wearing a socks. Today I'm wearing this one. This is my Boston hat. I don't support teams per se. I'm not a massive sports guy. I do support the Buffalo Bills. Go Buffalo this year. I do love the Bills. I actually wear hats of places that mean something to me. So if I'm wearing a Sox hat, that is the White Sox, that's Detroit. I did a lot of music in Detroit. When I'm wearing Boston, this represents I graduated from Berkeley College of Music. I have another Detroit hat as well, not the Sox. I've got the Chicago, by the way, the Sox, White Sox. Yeah, Chicago, did a lot of work out there. From New York, if I wear my New York hat, if I wear my Bills hat. If I wear my Pirates hat, it's because I used to live in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. I got a Philadelphia hat. I have music ones, a lot like Roland, things like that. So I'm not, if I'm wearing hats, I think people think that I'm team challenged or maybe a band hopper, but I'm not a hopper. I have an LA hat. I did a lot of work in LA with the music industry. And of course, Johnny Cash. Well, I'm going to smoke the rest of this in peace. I hope you join me and maybe lit one while we were not cannabis, by the way, unless you're going to put it on an altar. But just spend some time as men and thinking and chatting. Thank you for joining this channel. Do all the YouTube stuffs. If you like this channel, subscribe, like the video, all that. I'll be doing videos where I just randomly smoke different tobaccos just to see what they taste like. Right now I'm on an aromatic kick for no particular reason, just kind of in that mood as fall kind of comes in. Reminds me of some of the warm things of home. Listen, be good to yourself, be a good man, be a man, and take care of yourself and be kind to others. Men can be kind. We don't have to be, for better or less words, douchebags to this world. We can be good men. So, thank you for joining me, and I will see you soon.